Hey there, my name is Aiden, and I am an artisan and creator of coin jewelry, coin rings. And so the purpose of this video today is to show you how to do a coin ring given a certain amount of materials and equipment. But I have a very special coin I'm going to use today. This is a United States Gold Eagle. You can see that it's solid gold, 22 karat. And these were predominantly made in the late 19th century. This one is from 1898. And I don't do very many of these. They're very expensive, but if you're trying to make a beautiful engagement ring or something very memorable for someone, you can use any kind of coin, gold, silver, or just the standard change in your pocket. And you can see with my fingers there, I'm showing the outside edge of where the detail of the coin ring is going to be. And then on the reverse, this is going to be the front of our coin ring. And you can see there's United States of America. You're going to get part of the eagle wings in there. And then this coin also has a denomination of $10. That's all going to be outside on your ring. And why I'm showing it like this is while you're making a coin ring, you have to punch the center out and create basically a washer shape. Alrighty, so what you're seeing here is the first part of my hole punch process. I'm assembling that little bottom portion, and it's a 1/2 inch punch. I'm going to be placing the coin on top of that. And basically what this little piece of steel does, once you screw it down, it's going to perfectly center that coin in place. And then all you have to do on top of that is add in your 1/2 inch die and move on to the press where we're going to punch out that hole. All right, so this is my press setup. It's pretty simple. This is something I've purchased at Harbor Freight. It is a 12-ton press, and basically all it's going to do is it's going to push through that little pin on the top and forcibly push out that center punch. And you can see where it kind of snaps there. So we're going to lift up the press again, and then at the very bottom you should get that little gold pit. Of course, this isn't going to be wasted. We're definitely going to recycle that. It's worth a lot of money. And then we have to get the top part of the pin out. So we use another piece of steel in order to pop it through the other side. You see, I'll press it down and catch it from the bottom. All right, and then all that's left is you have to unscrew the top of that, and you will find your coin on the top. No marks, no marring, very clean center hole punch. All right, so what I'm showing here is the next step where we're going to remove those sharp edges from the inside of the coin. What I'm using is a deburring tool, and these are commonly found online. They use it for copper piping. And what I'm doing here is I'm removing those sharp burrs and edges from the inside of it. Two things. One, it's going to prevent any kind of cracking as you're starting to stretch the ring. We want to make sure it's smooth. And then second, it'll also smooth out the edge so that for the final product, you don't have to worry about those sharp edges. It makes it very comfortable and easy to wear. So that's all I'm doing, and I collect all of the gold dust below. And of course, I'm going to recycle that too. All right, so this next step is super crucial. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use a torch, and I use MAP gas. I'm going to set it down on this heat plate, and I'm going to heat it up until it hits a red hot temperature. The goal of this is what they call annealing, and part of that process is where you're taking the metal and you're kind of softening it up, because as you're stretching the metal, we're not going to do it hot, but we want to make sure that as the metal stretches and expands, it doesn't crack at any point, because that'll instantly ruin your coin and make it impossible to create a ring out of it. You can see the color change on the gold coin. This is actually pretty normal. This is a 90% gold, so that means there's about 10% copper in it. Usually gold does not patina, but in this case, it does turn a little black, and that is completely normal and natural. Most coins will turn a black dark color, which makes it super convenient later on when you're doing a patina design for it. So we let it cool down just a little bit, and then we're going to take it and dump it into that water. Alrighty, we're back to the press now. And so you can see that coin has finally been heated, and it's ready to begin stretching. So the first thing that we want to do is we're going to take a doming block, and you can find these in various locations, but preferably something stainless steel. It's going to have different shaped dies. And so basically we're trying to take that washer shaped coin and push the inside diameter out to kind of mushroom it. So you'll see I'm lining it up with the press. We want to make sure it's very even. If you get one side a little more stretched than the other, it can cause problems when you're trying to evenly stretch the ring later. Reduce the tension, pull it out, make sure it looks good. And you'll see it in the camera here. Just starting to push out that inside. And so we'll keep turning the block until we get to the smallest possible fit, and press it in place. We want to also make sure when we're pressing it to not go too far and use too much pressure on it, as you'll start to get the lettering on the outside edge and inside to mar, which we don't want to have happen. One way to circumnavigate that is you can use plastic, or I've seen people use Teflon tape around the coin, and that'll help protect some of the details from marring. So back to the heat block. Every time we make a little incremental stretch, we're going to heat it again. So now I'm going to add that coin into my Swedish die, and then add on that top part to push the coin down. So now we're back to the press, and what I'm going to do here is basically take that thicker portion of the coin, and the Swedish die is going to shove it through a narrow opening, and it's going to forcibly push it inward. This is typically something I use for half dollars and Morgan dollars, as those are very thick coins. And when you're trying to make a smaller ring size, the ultimate size for this is going to be a 10. We want to make sure to push those larger sides inside. And what this is going to do is make it easier later on for us to create that final ring shape. Alright, this is the fun part of making a coin ring, and fairly quick. So you can see that my gold coin ring is already set up, it's preheated. And what we're going to do now is we're going to expand the inside of that ring to the ultimate desired size, which is a size 10 in this case. And as you can literally see, I'm sitting on the ground, and it doesn't really take much, but this is an essential tool for anyone wanting to make a coin ring. It is called a mandrel press. And basically what it's doing is those top splines where the mandrel are going to expand when you press up. And as you rotate and work it down the mandrel, it's going to slowly expand the ring. And so in this case, you can see I'm adding a little bit of thin plastic film. And the idea behind that is to prevent any scratching or marring from destroying the inside of the coin's detail. Creates a better final product. I've seen people use Teflon tape in this particular case. And anytime it rips, it's always a good idea to replace it and make sure that you're working on non-metal surface. Gold in this case is extremely soft, as most of the other coin materials are. So it shouldn't take much, but you can see I'm rotating that around with my finger. And the idea is to make sure it's evenly stretched out, so there's not one part of it that's overly stretched than the other. And as you can see, I'm literally sitting on the floor, and I have this mandrel press set up on a piece of wood for a little bit of leverage. It does not take a lot of room. You can literally do this in your house. If you have a shed or a small workspace, it's perfect. Conveniently, I can also take this with me in my vehicle whenever I'm traveling or need to resize for somebody. Periodically through this process, you want to make sure you stop and anneal it again. The heat on that is going to re-soften the metal and make it easier to expand without any risk of cracking. Once you get down to the final size that you're looking for, we want to make sure to flip over the coin and then work on the other side of it while you're stretching it. You'll see I have another mandrel to kind of size and adjust where I'm at. I'm almost at a 10. The goal for this, though, is actually to create the ring 2 sizes larger. So I'm going to stretch it to a size 12. So here I've moved a few steps forward, and I have compressed the ring down from a size 12 to a 10. We're basically at the final shape and size that we like. So once you've figured out that shape and size, we're going to use that deburring tool again and remove that thick inner lip from where the outside edge of the coin was. And what that's going to do is it's going to kind of even out the inside of the ring so you don't have one thick part and one thin. Naturally, though, the ring is going to be thicker on that one side versus the inside that you've stretched, and that's okay. But we're going to want to make sure to remove all those sharp edges so that when you wear it, it's a comfortable ring. Any scraps or shavings, especially gold or silver, I always collect those and recycle them. And you'll see as I'm showing you, I'm removing the inner band that's thicker. The next tool that I'll use is a Dremel with a rubber wheel. And what this is going to do is it's going to smooth out all those lines that were created from deburring it. And the goal for this is to kind of create a nice shiny finish at the end. So we want to make sure that's smooth and flush with the inside of the ring. And voila, we're ready for the next step, where we're going to do the final sizing on it. So this is going to be the final resizing, and we're really close to a size 10, but after having removed the inner material from the inner band, it's going to have been a little bit larger. So we're going to use the bottom portion of this mandrel press. But first we're going to check the size, and so you can kind of see it's like very close to a 10. However, I usually do a quarter size smaller, again due to the fact that one side of the ring is a little bit larger than the other. We're going to add a little bit of oil to it just to keep the edges from marring, and then add our ring into place. And so the other side of that press is really cool because once you put your fat foot in it, like I'm doing here, and you press down, it's going to push it into that domed plate and reduce the size down. And so I'm looking for exactly 9 3/4. And then we're going to check both sides to make sure they're flush, and it creates that nice fat tire shape. And it looks like it's just about done. So as you can see, I have given it another annealing before moving on to this step. And now we're ready for the final stages, which is going to be sanding and polishing. So in this part, you can see I'm in my kitchen sink, and I am going to be doing the final sanding on it. We're going for a patina finish. So first I'm going to use a sanding block on the bottom and the top to remove that extra patina, and it should turn that nice brilliant gold color. I prefer to do wet sanding. It varies, depending on your style, but I find that this is the best for getting most of the details that you're looking for. It makes a nice smooth sanded finish, and you don't get a lot of, metal powder all over the place. So we're going to wash it off, and the sandpaper that I'm using there is a 600 grit wet sandpaper. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to basically rub that along the edges of the coin ring to reveal the taller gold detail. And so we're basically just going to keep doing this until we like the design and the look of the patina. This is our final step. I have completely sanded the inside and the outside of the coin ring, and you can see all of those letters and details popping out. The last step here, we're going to take our polishing cloth, or you can use any kind of polishing tool you have, and we're just going to go around the outside of the ring and give it a nice buff. I usually like to make sure the inside and outside is fairly polished and shiny. It makes it smooth to the finish, a very professional looking piece of jewelry. And this may take a little bit of time. I always do it by hand. And that's it. That's our finished coin ring. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned.